Alright guys, so some more progress today. Got the gasket sitting there, ready to be all buttoned up with the exhaust manifold right now. The exhaust manifold's going to go on first. Nothing's going to be torqued down all the way. It's just going to be sort of sitting there tight enough to keep some pressure on it, but not anything crazy. Didn't really clean up the surface much more, so hopefully the gasket will still be able to seal okay. It was the best I could really get it without taking it to a machine shop or something and getting it leveled out properly. So I'll keep you guys updated once the exhaust manifold's on, and yeah. Alright, so quick update, I guess, after the last clip. You can see the exhaust manifold's on. It's being held on this end, that end, and then the three in the middle. These are other bolts I got from Brafasco. Let's just let that focus. There we go. Bolts I got from Brafasco to hopefully replace the stock studs that are, well, frozen solid. This one here, I don't have the stock washers, so I use two thick steel washers just to make sure that I'm not bottoming out the nut and the threads on the stud. It should be okay though. I haven't torqued it down all the way, but that's whatever. This one was missing the washer as well, so I'm going to need to replace that one with the factory washer. So that'll come eventually. I'm going to wait a little bit to get the proper one rather than trying to make it up by stacking other washers. Next up, I've got to drill out some holes in the gasket to accommodate the different mounting holes, which are, I don't want to bend it, but they're just under here, that the new intake manifold uses. Get the intake manifold bolted up with those holes for now, and yeah, check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I've learned a lot about the gaskets, and modifying these gaskets, I might have to make a separate video about it if people are interested, but getting these holes here has proved to be such a challenge. I totally butchered this one, and these two are not that great either. What I think is the best way from what I've seen so far is rather than trying to drill out a hole right away with a big drill bit, just get a small drill bit just to get enough in, then get a Dremel with a grinder wheel and grind away. That way you get nice even circles and you don't get burrs, and you definitely don't pierce through it like I did here. Hopefully it'll still seal, but we'll see. Only time will tell. Just walking back over here to show you guys what else is new. The wiring that I detached from here, I ran it along the bottom with that existing wire there. That's the airflow meter wire. And now it's all bundled up here. So let me turn down this light a little bit. Jeez. So now we just have to find some kind of box to put it all in, lump it all together, screw it down here, and we should be good to go when it comes to wiring. Still have to resolve these little coolant bungs, figure out what I want to do with them. Do I want to plug them? Do I want to run a line between them? Who knows? So yeah, been taking the manifold off and on to try to get those intake manifold holes drilled, and hopefully now is the last time I'll have to do that. Holy smokes, it's finally done. Hang on, let me get the light going just so you guys can see better. Alright, this is a huge pain. If anybody needs an explanation on how to do the gasket modification to make it work, to make a Canon triple Weber intake work on a 77 280Z. I don't know if there's a difference between 76 and 77, but whatever. Let me know in a comment or a message, because that was a huge pain, and I'm really glad I did that and got it done. So that's on. It's not torqued down all the way. I still haven't sorted out those washers that go in between them over here. So the intake manifold is being held on by the top 6 bolts, not really torqued down, and the exhaust manifold is being held on either end, and the 3 main bolts around the middle. So the remaining, 4 or 6 studs around the outside have to be taken care of still. But yeah, so hopefully this gasket seals well. Who knows, I messed it up big time while trying to take care of all this, but you know, hopefully it turned out okay. We'll find out in a little bit. Now I guess I'm going to go back to tidying up the wiring a little bit, see if I can maybe take care of that whole box situation and get that done for good now. But yeah, I think I'm going to relax a little bit after that. Okay, so this is probably going to be the last clip of the day unless something major happens. Just wanted to show you the quick little test fit with the carbs on, and oh my god, that looks amazing. I'm so stoked. Hopefully the heat shield that goes here will still be able to fit without any interference, but we'll have to see. And hopefully there'll be no interference between the air cleaner that's going to go on this one and the ignition coil. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out what goes on with that. before I do go, I just wanted to sort of give you guys a quick, oh, jeez, explanation of how I took care of the gasket, which the best way I found was to use a Dremel to grind out the hole. So what you do is you find out where you need the hole, drill a quick hole in it, and then Dremel out the rest of it. So drill a much smaller hole than you need and use the Dremel because it will give you a much smoother overall finish and probably give your gasket less chance of leaking. Alright, so this is the final clip of the video. I'm just going to wrap it up with this. Excuse my writing, but that's the list of things that I had to do. So far the gasket and manifolds, those are almost installed. Just have to figure out the spacers on the bottom. The wiring is almost done. I'll show you what I've done with that. It's just going to need a different box to finish it up with, but you guys can see that. The coolant, I think I've decided I'm not going to plug up the holes. What I'm instead going to do is run one big line between one and the other so that the same coolant flow applies. Hopefully that makes sense, but we'll find out. And the fuel system and the carbs are still to do. I got a pricing for the carbs. It's going to be about $200 each, so I'm going to see if I can maybe get a deal on that. We'll see. Anyways, off to here. So as for the coolant lines, I might run from here around the back and into the other one. We'll see if that's going to cause any problems or not. And let's turn off that light, so it's too bright. So this is obviously a temporary box, but this is just the general idea that it's going to be a box where all the extra wiring from the EFI system goes into here and just stays in here mounted where the AFM used to be. So I'll figure that out later on and give you guys an update tomorrow. Take it easy.